Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Rookie Card Collector 123 video. In today's episode, I'm going to show, I believe it's a total of 13 cards. And these cards are all picturing Baseball Hall of Famers. And they're also all autographed, on-card autographs for all 13 Hall of Fame cards. I'm going to do in the future a second video related to autographs, and I'm going to show some other different types of items I have, but these are all cataloged baseball cards that are in the standard vintage catalog. They're going to be primarily the upper tier Inner Circle Hall of Famers. The second group will be as well. Many of the second group are going to be real photo postcards, original type 1 photographs, things like that. But like I said, today is going to be all baseball cards. So to start things off, we're going to go with the first one I'm going to picture here. It's going to be a 1927 exhibits, and this one is George Sisler. Sisler pictured in his St. Louis uniform. The 27 exhibits have a greenish color tint to them. That's how you can identify what year they're from. Many of the mid-20s exhibits, the only way to tell photos which were reused is to look at the color tint. The 25s were sort of a blackish gray color. 26s were a blue color. 27s were a green color, and 28s were a blue. The 26 was sort of a bluish gray, and the 28s are more of a true blue color. But anyway, this is a 27 George Sisler. The autograph is a little bit light on this one, but it's actually right underneath his St. Louis printed on his uniform. And Sisler, of course, one of the great early pre-war hitters. Began his career during the dead ball era and then would stick around throughout the 1920s. His offense really started to escalate. And Sisler has some of the highest all-time batting average seasons, as well as base hits during seasons as well. So this one was, everyone I have is going to be authenticated by PSA. I have a couple that are sitting at PSA right now. Currently, they're just authenticated by JSA. I have these certs for those, and I'm crossing them over and having them slabbed by PSA. Of course, that process is taking quite a while, as everything is taking quite a while these days when it comes to the major grading companies. So first one here, George Sisler, 27. This one I actually picked up on eBay, and this was my very first signed pre-war card of a Hall of Famer. That's in my current collection now. Sisler is the one that kind of started it all. And I think at the time when I bought it, I thought he was very reasonably priced for an Inner Circle Hall of Famer. I believe the population on this one was either 1 or 2, authenticated by PSA. It's got a little piece of tape residue by the top of his baseball cap at the very top edge of the card. And like I said, the autograph's a little bit light. But cards like this, again, when you're dealing with populations of 1 or 2, I'd rather have the card autographed as opposed to not having it and hoping to possibly get the one nicer example that might be out there. Okay, we're going to then move on to our second card. Sorry for the bit of a delay here. I'm still feeling my way through this showing images from the computer. So the second one we're going to look at is the 1935 Diamond Stars, Hank Greenberg. Many collectors love this Diamond Star set. It's one of the favorite pre-war issues. Bright colors in the background, including this one with the purple and yellow, and the baseball stadium behind him with the different pennants. Again, different colors: orange, blue, green. And this one, again, the highlight is going to be Hank Greenberg's autograph, just above the bottom border of the card, just above where his name is printed. Excuse me. This is one of Greenberg's earliest cards. His true rookie would be the 34 Gowdy. So this is a 35 Diamond Star. So this would be a second-year Greenberg. Greenberg did sign a good amount of items over the course of his lifetime, especially post-playing days. But very few pre-war cards of him during his playing days were signed. Of course, back then, many people looked at autographs on the face of cards as devaluing or defacing the card and actually bringing the condition down. So many people frowned on that and did not go after signed baseball cards, which makes these very scarce. I believe the population on this one is somewhere around 3 or 4 copies, I think, exist, authenticated by PSA. Again, all my autographs I'm going to show are all PSA authenticated. I don't really collect the Beckett or the JSA examples unless I'm not able to find any PSA for that player and I want to have an example in my collection. In that case, what I've been doing is I've been doing independent research and locating many examples of PSA authenticated autographs of that player and making sure they match almost identically to the card, the signed card that I'm looking at that might be in a Beckett or a JSA holder. Otherwise, I'm just strictly trying to get PSA only. I trust them in terms of autograph authentication more than the others. Obviously, nobody's perfect, but I just feel PSA is a safer bet in my eyes. So this one, the Greenberg, I picked up also on eBay. It has a very slight smudge in the end of his first name, the NK in Hank. I'm not sure if you can see it on the image on the screen here or not. So that kind of kept the price a little more budget friendly. And I picked this one up. This was after the Sisler. This was probably my third pre-war autograph card, I believe. I've been collecting almost strictly the pre-war guys, very little post-war. I have a couple, and I'll be showing them between today's video and then also the next video when I do my autographed real photo postcards and type 1 photographs. So that's my Greenberg. This one has no card grade and the autograph, of course, graded authentic. I haven't really worried about getting numerical grades either for the autograph or the card. This one's actually a nice card, probably in the 2 range. And the autograph, like I said, has a smudge on it, so it probably would not make sense to request a numerical grade for the autograph on this particular one. Okay, to autograph card number 3. Okay, this is going to be the first one of 2 different players I'm going to have from the same card set. This one is not quite a pre-war set, and when I show you the player, you'll understand why. This is obviously Honus Wagner. Any playing days autograph card of Wagner, I'm not sure how many total exist. I don't think I've ever seen one either up for sale, up for auction, or in anybody's collection. I've never seen, of course, the T206. Don't think I've ever seen an autographed Wagner caramel card or any of his other Cracker Jack, Sporting News, any of his other later playing days cards. So I wanted to have his autograph, preferably on a card, which is the case for all the guys that I've been collecting. Sometimes that's not possible because of value, price, or whatever, rarity. So in some cases, I've settled for a Type 1 photograph or a real photo postcard. And that's what I'll be showing in my other video coming up. But this set is the 1948 Baseballs Greats Hall of Fame. It's a black and white set put out by the Hall of Fame Museum in Cooperstown. It's got a bio of the player underneath. It's got a nice playing days image, two pillars on the two side borders, and then the Baseball Hall of Fame designation at the top of the card. This one's a beautiful Wagner autograph. No smudges, no streaks in it, nothing. They actually PSA graded the autograph on this one a Gem Mint 10. So it's a perfect 10 autograph. The card is probably a mid-grade card, so probably somewhere in the four or five kind of range, which isn't bad for this set. Again, it's a 1948, so it's about 75 years old, and extremely rare to get Honus Wagner on any type of baseball card. So super happy to have this one. This one was an eBay pickup more recently. It took me several months negotiating back and forth with the seller, starting out with a offer of kind of where I wanted to be at, and the seller budged a little bit on his price, but we definitely ended up much closer to his original asking price than what I was hoping to pay. But like I mentioned, very few signed Wagner cards of any kind, so real happy to have this one in the collection. Okay, moving on to the fourth card. Okay, so this one is going to be a really special one for a couple of reasons. Sorry for the delay here again. So this is going to be one of baseball all-time most popular players in at least in Yankee baseball history, and also baseball players of all time, Joe DiMaggio. This one pictures Joe with Joe McCarthy, his manager. So it's got the two Hall of Famers on one card. And not only is it on two Hall of Famers on one card, and it's not signed by McCarthy, but it's also a Joe DiMaggio, one of his rookie card options from 1936. So this is the R314, is the American Card Catalog designation. And it's one of his 36, like I said, rookie card issues, and obviously autographed by DiMaggio. This one is a population of 3. I've seen one other copy, which has, actually I've seen both of the other 2 copies. One of them is in ink on the top of the card and along the top border, the top edge. And the ink signature did not come out so great. This one's in a very nice fine blue marker. Doesn't look like it's a Sharpie. I think it's a little too thin for a Sharpie. But the autograph's been graded by PSA as a Gem Mint 10. The card is authentic, probably a VG 3 or so, 3.5 maybe, if I graded the card. And all of these here, I have not submitted to PSA for grading on the autographs. These are all cards I bought already slabbed by PSA. So it's not me making the decision whether to request numerical grades or not. If it's up to me, the very rare times I've submitted an autograph card, I will almost always, unless it's obvious that it's going to be a negative, I will almost always request a numerical card grade and a numerical autograph grade. Unless, like I said, it's obvious that there's issues with one or the other or both. In that case, I might just ask for authentic. But whatever is going to be to the owner's benefit is generally the way to go when it comes to grading autographs and the cards. So that one, like I said, Joe DiMaggio rookie makes it extra special. This one I ended up picking up. It was in a REA auction, I think. It was one of the major auction houses last year. And it was actually the same auction where I was hoping to pick up an E125 American Caramel die cut card of Christy Mathewson that was in the same auction. And I was after this DiMaggio autograph rookie as well as that one. And I couldn't afford both. And it turned out that I ended up winning this DiMaggio early in extended bidding. So I had to drop out on the Mathewson card. So one of my favorites in the collection, as you can imagine, being a Hall of Fame rookie card collector, this one serves two purposes, the autograph and being a Hall of Fame rookie at the same time. Okay, moving on to the next card. And this is going to be a second option. So this is the second Joe DiMaggio rookie card that I have signed. This is his 1936 National Chickle. So the unique thing about this card here is it pictures him. You see he's wearing uniform number 18 in the batting pose. And DiMaggio only wore uniform 18 in his very first spring training of 1936 when he was basically trying out for the Yankees. He never played in the majors yet at that point. So he wore it only for spring training. When the season started, he switched to, I believe it was uniform number 6, and then eventually would switch to uniform 5, which is the uniform he would be famous and retire with. So this National Chickle, another 36 DiMaggio, so another Joe D rookie card. And this one's also a perfect Gem Mint 10 autograph, also in a thin blue marker. And the card's graded authentic. This one's a really sharp card, so this might be a 4 kind of range, 4, 4.5. Which is an excellent grade for a card that's about 90 years old. And like I said, another DiMaggio rookie. This one I picked up. It was listed on eBay. I reached out to the seller who I knew, worked out a private deal. And this one definitely costed me a pretty penny, but I'm very happy to own it and goes really nicely with my my Gaudi premium, the R314 DiMaggio, my other rookie with Joe McCarthy. Okay. Moving on to the next autograph card. Okay. We've got, this case, we've got one more Joe DiMaggio. And this one is not a rookie card. It's fairly early in his career, though. This is a 1939 to 46 exhibit. These are the ones that appeared in the exhibit vending machines during that time period, 39 to 46. Some of these, including the DiMaggio, I believe, actually were still available in these machines for several years, even beyond the final 1946 issue date. So there's a number of these Joe DiMaggio exhibits out there. Not so many autographed. I don't know what the pop numbers are on this one. I would imagine it's probably somewhere in the kind of 20 range or so as far as encapsulated by PSA, maybe somewhere between 10 and 20. I forgot to mention the National Chickle DiMaggio rookie autograph. I looked up the population on that one. I believe that one was also three copies authenticated by PSA, same as the R314 Gaudi Premium. This one is definitely more plentiful, although 10 to 20 I wouldn't say is an easy card to find autographed, but definitely more of these out there. Another perfect Gem Mint 10 signature on this one, signed really nice horizontally, sort of at an angle, and nice batting pose follow through by DiMaggio on this one. Very popular card, one of the most popular in the 39 to 46 exhibits. And again, this card was graded authentic. This one was not. The back of it, I believe, has some toning, and the corners are pretty rounded. So this one I probably wouldn't bother with a numerical grade. Authentic would be fine for me. And this was another eBay pickup, maybe about a year and a half ago, something like that. Okay, I'm going to show one more. I'm going to kind of cut off the video at this point rather than it becoming like a 45-minute or maybe longer even. I'm going to show one more card, and then I'll do the second half of the Hall of Fame autograph cards in a second video in the near future. Okay. Actually, the card I was going to show, I don't have a good scan, so I'm going to show you a different one, and I'll come back to that one next time. Okay. So this is the only post-war that we're looking at today, and this is, of course, Roberto Clemente. And this one you can see is not really a card, but it's a cataloged baseball card set. This is the 1961 Manny's Baseball Land. It's got the picture is not the greatest photo as far as my scan, but it's a terrific photo. The Manny's Baseball Land photo is really beautiful images. It's got Roberto Clemente's name in the bottom border at the edge. Not sure if you can see that. Surrounded by otherwise white border, and of course Clemente. It's hard to tell if he's getting ready to make a throw in that type of pose, or if he's just heading into the dugout, maybe. But either way, a really nice, clean Clemente signature. You could see just above the P in Pirates on the jersey there. And a lot of Clemente's cards had a lot of, between the black jerseys, the black and white jerseys, depending on how much black was on, in the uniform that was pictured. A lot of his signatures end up being kind of obscured by the dark clothes or the dark background on the card or whatever. But it always seems like a lot of the Clemente signatures, especially on cards, a lot of times very hard to see. This one I liked because it's pretty much the entire signature all on the white part of the jersey. It runs a little bit into the darker area. But of course, Clemente died during his playing career, December 31st, 1972. The famous helicopter crash trying to bring supplies to earthquake victims, and never had the chance to properly get a proper send-off at the end of his career. And for that reason, Clemente autographs are very rare. Playing days cards are not easy to find. And this one from 61, much earlier in his career, definitely a treasure. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a PSA DNA sticker on this one. This one was authenticated back in 2005, I believe, is what the letter says, the letter of authenticity from PSA. So back then, they did not have holders big enough to encapsulate an item like this. Today, they do. I'd really like to get it encapsulated by PSA and into a holder. Unfortunately, when they do that, they basically shred the old certificate. And when they review the signature, I have no reason to think the signature is not good. But when they review the signature, if they make a determination today in 2026 that it's questionable whether it's authentic or not, I could possibly lose my certificate of authenticity if I choose to have it reevaluated by PSA today. So therefore, I spent a lot of money to buy this photo autographed with the letter. So I'm not really willing to take that risk. So I'm just going to keep it with the LOA as I have it, with the PSA sticker on the bottom, and just enjoy it in a big top loader. So really cool Clemente autograph. Like I said, very tough to find. That one was an eBay purchase last year also. Okay, so that's going to wrap up today's video. I was hoping to get all my cards in. I did about half of them. Excuse me. So next video, we'll look at the second half of the cards. And eventually, in an upcoming video, we will look at the Type 1 photos that are autographed, as well as real photo postcards autographed as well. All similar Hall of Fame, Inner Circle Hall of Famers. I don't think you saw anybody today that was not a major Hall of Fame star. That's pretty much what I'm collecting. I've kind of avoided, at this point at least, going after some of the more fringe Hall of Famers, not quite at the same level. Mainly because if you start collecting those guys, some of them signed a lot of cards over the course of their lifetimes. And, it's I don't have the funds to collect everything. So I have to make choices. And I opt to have a small collection and go after the bigger guys. So anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys again on the next one.